Hi friends, Phil Ciccio here. It is a beautiful morning here in New England. I'm having an amazing day already. I hope that you are as well. I want to share with you a quote that's been marinating in my brain now for the last 3 or 4 days. It was from Thomas Edison. And he said something, I'm going to paraphrase it here. Hopefully I'll get it perfectly, but I'll post it here as well on this page. He said, "I've made more mistakes than anyone I know, and sooner or later, I patent most of them." Now that quote there has been sort of kind of marinating in my brain for the last few days, and I've been thinking about it, and I thought I'd shoot this video to kind of share my thoughts on this quote and try to like pick his brain, or at least get inside and see what he meant by that. The more I thought about it, the more I realized what he's saying is, don't worry about trying, don't worry about making mistakes. You've got to make mistakes in order to succeed, right? There is no success without mistakes and failure, and you've got to be trying different things. And most people, they're just not trying anything new. And if you're not making mistakes, then guess what? You're really not trying hard enough, or you're not doing anything that's difficult, or you're not doing anything that's going to get you outside of your comfort zone. Because if you haven't made a mistake, you're not leaving your comfort zone. And if you don't leave your comfort zone, you'll never grow, because no growth happens inside the comfort zone. And so what Thomas Edison is saying is, listen, you've got to make mistakes in order to be successful. I had read a quote, something that he had said. A reporter or somebody asked him about when he invented the light bulb, and many of you have probably heard this. When he invented the light bulb, the story goes that he tried 1,000 times to do it. Like, he basically failed at making a light bulb 1,000 times. And some reporter or somebody asked him, what did it feel like to fail 1,000 times? And he said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I learned 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb. And see, so his mindset was completely different than most people. And of course, he's made, hundreds and hundreds of inventions. And, he's introduced us to the power of the light bulb and all these things. But think about the quote and what he's saying. He's saying, listen, you got to try. If you don't try, you'll never ever get to the life that you truly want. And unfortunately, if you think about it, and a little bit morbid here, if you go to the cemetery, there are lots of bodies buried at the cemetery, but they're not just bodies buried there. There are all kinds of great ideas buried at the cemetery. There are all kinds of songs buried at the cemetery. There are all kinds of books buried at the cemetery. Things that people had inside them that they never actually expressed or showed outside of them. Think about that for a moment. How many I love yous are buried at the cemetery, or I'm sorry buried at the cemetery, or hey, I wish I tried harder, or I wish I was there more, buried at the cemetery. Don't make those kinds of mistakes that people make. When you have a gift inside of you, you've got to unwrap it, you got to share it with the world. And yeah, it's going to take a lot of mistakes to do that, right? I've made tons of mistakes in my life to get where I am today. And if you look at some of the successes that you've had, they all sort of probably started with some mistake you made. Mistakes are essential for growth. Mistakes are essential for success. And if you're not making mistakes, I'm sorry, you're not trying hard enough. And if you don't try harder, and if you don't do anything different, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you're going to have the same life that you have today. So go out there and make some mistakes. Don't end up being one of those people in the cemetery who's got all of this stuff inside of you, these awesome stories, or this great business idea, or some book, or some song buried with you. Don't do that. Unwrap those gifts and get out there and start to share them today. Make some mistakes. I promise you, those mistakes will be the best things that ever happened to you. Have a great day.